We are going to find out what is wrong with the Subaru. If you didn't watch the last video, we took it up to get tuned and lo and behold, found a fuel problem. Bank 1, which is passenger side, bank 1 is running richer than bank 2. We have no idea why. Both have the same fuel rail pressure, both have the same injector pulse width, so really everything ECU wise should be delivering fuel to both sides the same amount, but they aren't. So last video, took the manifold off. We did test all the injectors. They did all fire. They all sounded good, and they were all assigned to the right cylinder, all that. So wiring wise, we should be good there. Today I'm going to start by pulling the injectors, because I'm going to be getting them shipped off to be flow tested, send them back to fuel injector clinic, and they'll reflow and make sure that it's not an injector issue. I don't think it is, because when we pulled the plugs, all 3 plugs on this side had the exact same amount of black soot, which is telling us that they were all kind of running the same amount of richness. So I don't think it's just an injector issue, but I'm going to send them off just to be sure. So I need to pull those. I need to label which hole they were in, so that when we get them back and we have the data, we'll be like, okay, these injectors were this hole, so we kind of know what's going on. After we do that, I'm actually going to pull the plugs and do a compression test. That will tell me if we have a cam issue. I don't think it's bad compression, because again, it's all 3 looked like they had the exact same amount of fuel. So to me, it's saying maybe a cam sync issue or a cam phase issue. Maybe I didn't line the cams up when I put them in, so that should tell me that. And then we're just going to go from there. I will take this as deep as we need to go to find the issue. I'm also going to be flow testing this manifold the best I can. Right now the air comes in, then there's this divider, so a Y's, and then it goes into each plenum, and then there is a crossover here. So I wouldn't think that one side would get more air than the other. It should go in and equalize itself, but maybe it's not. Maybe we're just not getting very much air on this side, which results in a rich condition. So like I said, we're going to take this as far as we need to find the issue here. So I got the injectors out, put in the box. I'm just going to ship them back in the box they came with. All right, got a gauge hooked up. All the plugs are pulled. As you can see, these all have more soot on them than this side. Anytime the car's been running since I've got it back together, you can just smell fuel. No matter what the AFR is at, it just smells like it's always dumping fuel into it. So I guess we're going to be doing a compression test. All the plugs are out. Coils are obviously off. Injectors off, so nothing can fire. Fuel pump is unplugged, so we're not going to get fuel dumping out of these fuel rails. And cross your finger. I'm actually kind of nervous. Gonna suck if this has like terrible compression on. But if they all have terrible compression, then that'll tell me that there's a cam out of phase and the valves are opening and closing at the wrong times. So I guess that's kind of what I'm hoping for, maybe, but we'll find out. Well, we got what, 140 135 psi. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I guess we'll see what the other ones are at. 150. We've been pretty consistent. So that kind of tells me that there isn't really a cam issue, which is kind of good and bad, I guess. Because really, if we did have a cam issue, all 3, so 1, 3, and 5 would all be pretty low. And then 2, 4, and 6 would be a little higher. And these are all pretty much within 10 of each other, which is pretty good. Especially, I don't know how, when you have forged pistons, you have a slightly smaller piston, which expands when you heat up. And since this isn't heated up, it could be a better compression, but I don't know for sure. So all these numbers could be slightly higher when the engine is warmed up, but overall those are not bad. These ones that I crossed out, I did it with the engine. The battery was kind of low, so it was kind of struggling getting by, so obviously it didn't kind of give the right compression. But shoot, I would think that's pretty good, which is good and bad. I was hoping to find an issue, but that at least tells me that the engine's kind of healthy right now, and I don't think the cams would be out of phase. So I guess we'll keep on figuring out what we need to do. All right guys, got the wideband. Now we just need to mark on the exhaust I want to put them. Take off the exhaust, weld the bungs on, put it back on, wire the new sensor in, then we can start the car. So this driver's side, obviously we have plenty of room here. We can make that work. It gets a little tighter over here because we need to be up on that pipe there to get a reading for that bank. So it'll have to go probably between the engine and the frame rail there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try and figure out the best way there, but on this side we could have it anywhere over here. All right, headers are off. Have them kind of marked, hopefully good enough. But there's like straight up man, that smells straight up like fuel. Yeah, this side, which this isn't even the side that we are worried about. But yeah, that just smells straight up like fuel. I almost wonder if the driver's side bank here, bank 2, is the trouble one. I don't know, it's weird. But got them marked. Hopefully the marks are still there. So go drill them out and we can weld in the bungs. Well, these are done. They came out pretty good. But while I was down there, I saw that the bottom seal on this valve cover isn't lined up good, so I'm gonna have to loosen that valve cover and redo that before I can throw this header on. So I'm probably gonna do that off camera real fast. Actually, I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow because it's getting late. But I need to do that before I can put the header back. Okay, everything is hooked up. We have a sensor right there. Now it's hard to see. And then we got one right here. Both of them. Nice thing about this one, this is the one that's plugged into the car, but instead of running it to the downpipe, I just reroute it straight to here. Then this one, I just have it through the window right here. Just comes up through there, no problem. Just gonna do that, try and keep things away from the coils. I don't know if I'll get any magnetic interference from those, but yeah, so that's just gonna be running straight to that gauge there. Then I have the other gauge right here. But I actually need to go get my computer, but then we will be able to start. All right, well, I think I have things kind of set up here in Tuner Studios. I guess all we can do here is start it and see what it does. So I'm going to be paying attention to these two gauges and see how close they are. I expect one of them to be a lot richer than the other. I was about to get really annoyed saying, what did I do now? But then I remembered I pulled my fuse to my coils while I was working on it. So that would explain why I wasn't getting spark. So now we should be able to start. When you plug all your injectors in. So look at this. Lean, very rich. Interesting. So that explains a lot. Yeah, I don't even know what to do. All right, a couple of things I'm gonna do. First thing first, I'm gonna run it without the pipe on. That will tell me if this bend is making a difference or not, because it'll be pulling just straight through the throttle body. It's speed density, so it still should run just fine. So I'm gonna try that and then start it, look at the numbers. And then I'm also going to swap injectors. All right. Still way up with the bend. Doesn't really change. Well, not a lot of change there. This side is running really lean, this side's running really rich. It's either wiring or ECU, which I don't know. I don't know where we'll go from there. Well guys, believe it or not, I think for real this time, I think what's wrong, I think I found out what's wrong with my car. Long story short, I was sitting on the couch one night and all of a sudden come to my mind, like, shoot, did I wire my injectors wrong? And after I look back at things, when I was testing the injectors, because you can fire it with the ECU, and so I would, last time when I had my intake manifold off, I would fire the injectors, and I went, fired the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. And I remember watching boom, 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 boom. But then it came to my mind that you can't wire your injectors, with Mega Squirt at least, you can't wire your injectors in numerical order. This will make a little more sense written down like this. So here we have the injectors, and on the harness they are used with letters and not numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is labeled as A, B, C, D, E, F. And the Mega Squirt ECU can only fire the coils and injectors in numerical order. So in this order right here. But most engines, probably all engines, have a firing order that they are built for. This isn't determined by the computer. This is determined by how the engine is built. And what I mean by that is how the cams are, how as everything's rotating and valves are opening and closing, this is how the engine has to fire because of pretty much because of all the cam lobes. So because this is the firing order of the EG33, cylinder 1, 6, 3, 2, 5, 4, it goes in that order. You have to wire the mega squirt in that order. So you don't assign it to the cylinder in numerical order, you assign it to the cylinder in the firing order. So injector A, 1, is the same. But B, because number 6 fires second, the second injector has to be going to cylinder 6. And that is where I screwed up. I did these in numerical order. Luckily, 1, 3, and 5 are in the same position, so I don't need to change those. But it makes sense that my driver's side was running funny because these were all in the wrong place. So really, when injector B was going to fire, it was actually firing into cylinder 2, but cylinder 2 was probably closed because 6 is what was supposed to be firing, which means that both the exhaust and intake valves are going to be closed, ready for the explosion to happen. But so these are probably firing when the exhaust valve was opening, which means that the fuel was just going directly out of the exhaust. So this makes a lot of sense. And no joke, I was laying there on the couch at night in my pajamas and this came to my head and I was like, wow, I need to go check. And so I ran down here and checked the labeling on my wires, and sure enough, all 3 of these were labeled in the wrong position. So none of these injectors were firing when it was supposed to, which would explain why the car just always smelled rich no matter what I did. It's just crazy. But it never crossed my mind because the car never ran bad. Like, I could tell that it was a little down on power than before, but it never misfired, which you think it would, but maybe there was just enough fuel in there in the cylinder still that when it did ignite, there was something going, but it wasn't happening at the right time. So I believe this is the issue. I know for a fact these were all wrong, so that should tell me that this should fix it. So I actually got all these redone already. I just cut these and moved them to where they need to go. So really I just need to retape this, put this back together, and we can fire it up and see if this is going to work. Well, of course I got the injectors all wired back together, and luckily, I guess smartly, I was like, well, maybe I should check my coils because maybe they aren't wired correctly. And good thing I did because they were also wrong, which makes a little more sense. They were both firing at the same time. So I was thinking if just my injectors were wired wrong and my coils were wired right, you'd think it would misfire, but I guess they were firing at the same time, just obviously not at the right time. So that does make a lot of sense. So before I kind of try to start this thing, I'm going to test. So if we look here, it says, okay, injector or coil B should be cylinder 6. And so if we have coil B right there, can't really see it, but right there, coil B, this is a test. So we start it, I can hear it. We'll go check here, and we are getting spark, and this is off number 6 coil, which would go into the cylinder obviously, and we're getting spark. So that tells me that they are wired correctly now. So I guess now put it back together and we should be able to start the car. Well guys, moment of truth. Everything's wired back. I'm kind of nervous. So this doesn't help. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Should start a lot better now. And it's kind of late, so sorry everybody. sounds so much better. Exact same AFR. Exact same. Oh my gosh, I fixed my car. Holy cow. I can't believe I fixed my car. Wow. Oh man. I can't believe I figured it out. Holy cow. Gosh, I'm an idiot sometimes. And I knew that. The first time I built the car, I wired it the correct way. I do not know why. I don't know why I did that. But holy cow, it actually runs good. It actually runs good. Same AFRs on both sides. I cannot believe I fixed this car. Gosh. All this time, just stupid wiring. I hate this car so much, but I love it so much at the same time. But man, sounds good. Sounds so much better. It's amazing what happens when everything's firing on the right way. Oh. All this time. The last, I don't even know how long it's been. I was starting to lose faith in my abilities. But it works. It works. Holy cow. But it's really late. I probably woke everyone up with that. But I couldn't leave here tonight without testing it, and the car ran. AFRs are the same. What a stupid mistake. What a stupid mistake, but hey, live and learn, right? So tomorrow, I say we see if we can go for a little drive in this bad boy.